And welcome to FPL Mate, your best mate for fantasy Premier League content for the 2022-23 season. My name is Dan, and today we are doing my team selection video for Game Week 7. The video where I show you all about my last week's scores, my transfer plans for this upcoming game week, where I've got two transfers which I've already actually used, as well as my captaincy for the week. So I hope you do enjoy this one. If you do, please do leave a like. Please do subscribe if you're new around here. But without further ado, guys, let's have a look at my scores from Game Week 6. Alright. A lot of people had a very disappointing Game Week 6. I was no exception to that. I mean, 35 points is not exactly thrilling, but I have to say that a lot of very good managers got 35 points or less than that. A lot of people did get less than that, so I'm not going to beat myself up about it too much. It would have been nice to get a green arrow, but it just seemed to be, it just wasn't going to happen for a lot of people, particularly those loaded up on big at the back. So those of you who have got lots of premium defenders, I'm sure you're just as disappointed as I am. We did have a couple of players score points. I mean, Pascal Gross got some points. Gibbs White, who was the new transfer in for last game week, he did get an assist, so that's okay. But I did kind of hope for a little bit more from him, from my kind of a spicy differential in the team. And Harry Kane scored 9 points, which, you know, we're not going to complain about that one too much. He has been ticking along quite nicely, has Kane. Certainly better than Salah has been in more recent game weeks, I suppose. But yeah, certainly very disappointing with the Trent and Robertson. Trent Alexander-Arnold in a game in which Liverpool kept a clean sheet. Trent comes off in the 58th minute, so he doesn't collect the clean sheet points. Robertson didn't even start the game, so he couldn't collect the clean sheet points, and it was just a bit of a disaster from there, really. So yeah, a really disappointing game week for me. I'm sure a similar situation for a lot of you guys. What can you do, really? One of those game weeks. There's been a couple of one of those game weeks recently. This is another one, but yeah, let's see how we can go on from here, because it's no surprise, you know, it's no, you know, big announcement really that this season is not really going to plan, and I am going to try and keep things exciting, I think, from my own team. And I'm going to show you how I'm going to do that. Okay, let's start you off with my current team, and then I'll show you the transfers that I've already made for this upcoming game week. So, we've got 2 free transfers. Let's start off in goal with Raya. So, he's against Southampton next, which I don't think is such a bad fixture. So, yeah, maybe a clean sheet, but the way Brentford have been working recently, they just don't seem to ever be able to get clean sheets. Raya is still making loads of saves. He's still looking good on the BPS system, but he just can't seem to keep a clean sheet, which is really disappointing. Maybe it's time to move on some Brentford defenders, I guess. It does kind of seem that way, doesn't it? So when we get to wildcard territory, and I am looking to wildcard in game week 8, so next game week, then maybe Raya does have to come out. But for now, it's a good fixture. Let's see what will happen. You know, Brentford surely can't go an entire season without keeping any clean sheets, apart from that one against Manchester United, really, can they? Surely they've got to come at some point, but we'll see. We've got Trent Alexander-Arnold in defence at the moment, so he's got Wolves at home, which I think is a very good fixture, and you can say all of the bad things you like about, you know, how bad Liverpool are right now, but what we have to admit is that Wolves don't really score many goals at all, do they? They really don't. They really often struggle to get anything out of games in terms of goals. So the same situation as we kind of said before when Liverpool were about to play Bournemouth. We were kind of all like, yeah, okay, Liverpool are really bad, right? We understand Liverpool are not the Liverpool we expect them to be right now. But this is a game against Bournemouth, and Bournemouth are a team that, you know, they can be destroyed by a better team. So in the same kind of vein, I think we have to look at Wolves as a team that do not score goals, or very rarely score goals, or don't score nearly as many goals as a Premier League team perhaps should. Therefore, surely Liverpool defenders are going to be good to go. And Matip is also coming back into the Liverpool team. I don't know if that's going to impact things a little bit, maybe increase the chances of defence. So, yeah, we've got Trent in at the moment. He's in the defence there alongside his good friend, Andy Robertson. So, again, same situation. You think that, you know, there's only a few fixtures that you can look at and think, right, this is a really good chance at a clean sheet, no matter who your defender is, whether you've got like a defender from Liverpool, or you've got a defender from Man City, or you've got a defender from, I don't know, like even like a defender from, like, I don't know, Leeds or Fulham or someone like that. There's some fixtures you just kind of back them, and this is one of them. So we've got the double up in the Liverpool defence at the moment, with both of them playing against Wolves. And I do think that if there is a chance for a Liverpool clean sheet, surely it's now. Like, surely it's now? Really? Come on? No? Yes? Surely? I don't know. Let me know what you think, guys. But yeah, I'm going to be backing it. Rhys James up next. He plays Fulham. New manager, Graham Potter. I'm not sure if he's actually going to be able to take charge of Chelsea ahead of this weekend's games, but But it is a very good fixture, particularly for attacking returns. Fulham have been one of the weaker defences so far this season, and I think Rhys James could potentially playing on that right wing-back position. You would expect him, even under a Potter system, to be playing in a right wing-back position, so I think that could be pretty interesting. I just hope that he can avoid getting a yellow cards. James seems to be a yellow card magnet at the moment, doesn't he? But it's a very good fixture, again. And with defenders, we do often prioritise those fixtures. It's just a difficult one because, you know, the big at the back hasn't really been working out very well, has it? So, you know, we look at these fixtures, we think it looks good, and often is the case that a lot of the Premier League so far this season has been pretty unpredictable. We've seen a lot of unpredictable results. So, look, I'm hoping in the worst derby in the entirety of the Premier League, I suppose, that Chelsea are going to at least come away with a clean sheet, maybe a couple of goals, and maybe James can be involved in those goals. You wouldn't, like, if I asked you a couple of weeks ago if you thought that was a possibility, you would have probably said, yeah, that seems like it could be on. Moving on into midfield, we have got Mo Salah against Wolves again, obviously. I think the difference is with this fixture is for a Salah compared to a Trent and a Robertson, is that although Wolves don't score many goals, they don't really concede many goals either. So the situation with Salah is slightly different. I think it would be difficult for me to say I think Salah's going to do really well in this fixture. People are kind of looking at this. I've seen a lot of people all over the internet in the FPL world saying, yeah, Salah, you know, really good for this fixture against Wolves. You know, this is going to be a really good opportunity at home, etc., etc. Is it an easy fixture? Wolves have only they're kind of conceding an average of like 1 goal a game. I think they're something like the 6th best defence in the league on underlying numbers at the moment. So they are one of the better defences, genuinely, Wolves, even if they aren't the best attack. And I think maybe people kind of judge teams in like as a whole. They kind of judge them and say, you know, Wolves, you know, they don't score very many goals. They're a bad football team. Well, in FPL, I think you kind of have to look at two things separately. How good is their defence? How good is their attack? And you make decisions based on that. I'm not actually confident that Salah, particularly how wide he's playing at the moment. You know, we're going to have Darwin Nunez in the middle, like being the real focal point, the real target man. Salah playing out very, very wide. He's probably not going to get too many opportunities for goals unless he gets a penalty or something, because Wolves are, you know, they're pretty solid defensively, really. And the way Liverpool have been going recently, it's difficult to even say that Liverpool will score full stop, really. I mean, you'd hope that they can nick a 1-0 or something, maybe a 2-0 at a push, but you're not expecting them to go there and destroy them. So I don't think Salah is, you know, maybe as good of a captaincy option as a lot of people are making him out to be. So, yeah, not fully confident about that one, if I'm completely honest. And for 13 million, it's a lot of money to be spending on a player who you're not confident in this game week. And then look at the future game weeks, Chelsea, Brighton, Arsenal, Man City after that. Yeah, not confident. Not confident in Salah. I've said it. Martinelli, I am a little bit more confident in. That was almost a sentence, Daniel. Martinelli, okay, we've got Everton at home. This is a good fixture for Arsenal. We're expecting Arsenal to bounce back. They played well against Manchester United, even though they didn't get the result they wanted. And the best thing about this fixture right now is that Jordan Pickford is actually injured for Everton. So he's been a real strong player for Everton, really, and really has got them out of a lot of trouble. We saw last game week against Liverpool how Pickford basically dragged Everton to that 0-0 draw. You know, without him, they would have been in deep trouble. So yes, Begovic will be coming in, but is Begovic, you know, is he as good as Pickford? I don't think so. So I certainly do think our Arsenal attackers will have a bit more opportunity to get some goals. So Martinelli probably going to be among those goals. You know, he had a goal disallowed last game week, for God's sake. So, you know, he's still showing those real positive aspects to his play, and playing really attacking, playing really centrally, playing pretty much as a striker, and he's on in the form of his life pretty much. Next up, we've got Pascal Gross against Bournemouth. So obviously there's no Graham Potter at Brighton anymore, but we have got Adam Lallana taking the lead. So it doesn't, I don't believe that the Brighton's I don't think their tactics are going to change very much. You know, Potter would have been working with them all week, and, you know, contingency plans will be in place. And I don't think Brighton are suddenly going to fall off. After this fixture, they've obviously got a blank, and then they've got an international break. So I think Brighton, I wouldn't expect them to fall off too massively. They've been really good, and I don't think too much will change. And remember, guys, this is Bournemouth. Bournemouth have really just kind of not really been showing themselves to be ready for the Premier League so far, and they've shown themselves to be kind of really weak in many areas, and teams have been able to absolutely batter them. And Brighton, with the form that they've been in, I think it's going to be the same situation again. I think, you know, Brighton, you know, we saw what they did against Leicester. It could happen again. They could easily go there and score a few goals. And you would imagine if they are scoring goals, Pascal Gross is going to be very much a part of that, you know, taking those shots on, getting in those dangerous positions, but most of all, the passing. The Pascal Gross's creativity has been really, really phenomenal. So, liking the look of him, I think he's a really good player for this game week. Obviously, not next game week. Game week 8, he hasn't got a fixture. The Crystal Palace game has obviously been postponed for now due to safety concerns. So, yeah, Pascal Gross for this game week. Let's go, baby. Gibbs White, my differential in the team, I suppose. He is, he's playing like pretty much as a striker at the moment, which is really good, despite the fact he's listed as a midfielder. Nottingham Forest, you know, I look at some of these fixtures and I think, yeah, I think Nottingham Forest can get something out of some of these fixtures. Let's see. Leeds obviously got thumped last game week. They showed themselves to be quite weak defensively, and I'm kind of hoping for a similar thing again. You can see, guys, I've only going for 3 defenders this week, so I really am counting on our attackers to get lots of goals. I'm hoping for lots of goals. Not many clean sheets, really, other than maybe a Liverpool clean sheet would be nice. But yeah, let's see what Gibbs White can do. He's obviously a very good player. He's taken a lot of shots on. He is on pretty much all of the set pieces as well at the moment that he's taken away from Nico Williams. So there's lots to like about Gibbs White at the moment, which is why I put him in last game week. Hope for a little bit more last week, but look, I brought him in for a reason, and let's see if he can show what I brought him in for in this game week against Leeds. Still super differential and still one of those fun players that I'm trying to pick in my team to keep my FPL team fun and to try and get some results from some players that you don't necessarily expect. Up front, we've got Harry Kane against Man City. I know that looks like a bad fixture on the face of it, but Kane, last time he played Man City, he scored 2 goals. And to be fair, Spurs have shown themselves to be a bit of a bogey team for Man City. So I wouldn't be totally surprised to see Spurs, you know, go there and give Man City a real game. So that's why I am backing Harry Kane still for this game week. I really think that, you know, it can happen. And particularly, I do want to keep Harry Kane for that Leicester fixture as well. But I'm going to be wildcarding next game week. So maybe I could afford to get rid of Kane as long as I get him back for that Leicester fixture, because he is going to go absolutely nuclear in that one. I can feel it in my bones. But yeah, let's see what we can do against Man City. Not captain material necessarily, but, you know, let's see what we can do. We've got Jesus up next. He's got Everton as well. Same situation, no Pickford, which probably means better opportunities. Jesus, obviously very disappointing 1-pointer last week, but he did create a lot. You know, he took a couple of shots on, but he created a lot against Manchester United. Was kind of unlucky not to get an assist or something in that game, really. Arsenal in general were kind of unlucky not to get a little bit more out of that game, but they didn't. So we move. We move on to the next fixture, and performances are a better indicator of results than... performances are a better indicator of future results than past results are, I would say. So, therefore, Jesus, still a player I'd like to keep. Still a player I would like for this Everton fixture. After that, you know, Brentford you can maybe keep him for. After that, you know, maybe we can think about moving to some other options, because there are some really nice options in the forward positions. And finally, we're going to finish off with Archer. Cameron Archer, a player I think is going to do really well against Leicester. I think he's going to score 4 or 5 goals. I'm just joking. He is there as a placeholder because he is going to be one of the players who I am replacing using my 2 transfers. So he's a placeholder. Let's see who we're going to move him to in just one moment. But first of all, quick look at the bench, guys. We've got Ward, the ever-present, on the bench. I've actually got Cancelo on the bench. I don't think Man City are going to keep a clean sheet, and Cancelo has not shown me enough from an attacking point of view that he will get a lot of attacking return. So I'm happy to bench Cancelo and kind of, you know, just try and move away from the big of the back. Like, I'll just put the money on the bench for one game week before the wild card. We've got Andreas, that obviously home against Chelsea. Don't know how he'll do. I mean, he could do okay, to be fair. I would consider playing Andreas, I think, if I didn't have any other options. And Patterson away against Arsenal. I'm not really feeling that. Like I say, without Pickford, Everton, I think, will concede a few goals. So, yeah, I mean, like, genuinely, Arsenal players could genuinely be consideration for captaincy. Like, I'm not even just saying that. But there we go. Let's make some transfers, guys. So, we've got 2. We are, like I said, and I want to reiterate this, my team selection videos are not meant as advice. These are just what I'm doing, and I'm, you know, because my season is not going nearly as well as last season, I think I can afford to have a little bit of fun and kind of just take the pressure off myself a little bit, which is exactly what I'm going to be doing, and I'm going to be doing that with some fun picks. I'm going to be going a little bit differential. I'm not going to be, you know, too proud or anything like that. I'm going to have some fun. So the obvious transfer that I need to bring in is Erling Horland. I can't go without him. I've been waiting for the right moment to get him in. I didn't believe the last 2 game weeks were the right moment, because I did think he was going to get get benched in one of those games. Obviously he didn't, but it turned out last week, holding on to Harry Kane, he scored the same amount as Horland anyway last week. But the rotation kind of myth about Horland is kind of out of the window now, so it's time to bring him in, I think. And I know people are going to say, well, you're too late. Well, I'm not too late. If you think I'm too late, is that because you're saying Horland's never going to score points again? Obviously, I would have preferred to have him in a little bit earlier. Hindsight is 2020, but I didn't. So let's do something about it now rather than just never doing anything about it. Like, I'm not that proud, really. But anyway, like, let's see how I'm going to get Horland into this team. So this is how I'm going to be removing Salah, replacing him with Trossard, and I'm going to be removing Archer and replacing him with Horland. And there we go. Salah is removed from the team. He's gone. Like, I know, like, I'm going to be taking these risks that I feel that really could work out, and I'm going to be taking them so you guys don't have to. I know a lot of you guys are going to be too scared to take out Salah. I know some of you guys are going to be too scared to bench someone like Cancelo, but look, I'm going to take some risks. I'm kind of try and adapt to the new information that I've been given. And, you know, try and move forward with it and try and play FPL in a progressive way. This is a great time for me to experiment where I don't really have anything to lose. So that's exactly what I'm going to do here. So, yes, the team is suddenly looking very good. Obviously, you guys are going to be looking at Pascal Gross. You're going to be looking at Trossard and thinking, well, they don't have a fixture in Game Week 8. Well, like I said, I'm going to be wildcarding in Game Week 8 anyway, which actually gives me this opportunity to double up on Brighton attackers in this really good fixture where I believe Brighton are going to score a few goals against Bournemouth, and I'm going to capitalise on that by going for Gross, who I really, really like. Who's probably been the best player for Brighton so far this season. He's been playing phenomenally well. And Trossard, who from open play, in terms of these Brighton attackers, has been really good as well, getting lots of touches in the box, taking shots on, making nice dribbling moves, winning penalties sometimes. So yeah, Trossard has been really, really impressive as well. So is Pascal Gross, particularly from open play. And I do believe that Gross and Trossard are the two best Brighton players from open play. So assuming the Brighton keep up their good work that they've shown so far this season, this is going to be really nice to have that double up against Bournemouth, against this team who, you know, we seem to keep getting hauls against. Like, if you've got a player who plays against Bournemouth, they seem to get hauls. So, therefore, go pick the best attackers from the team that play against Bournemouth. Like, it's not rocket science, really. It makes sense. It seems to be a recurring theme at this point in FPL. So we're going to go for it, guys. We're going to absolutely go for it. Double up. Wildcard next game week. So we can afford to back ourselves into a corner in a way because we've got that get out of jail free card. And look, for, like on paper, this team looks phenomenal. The only thing you perhaps wouldn't like is Man City versus Spurs. We've got Kane and we've got Horland there. But if that is a high-scoring game like it has been recently, then you know, that's not really going to be an issue to have two strikers, two world-class strikers, play against each other and hopefully get some points. So yeah, this team, it looks messy, but it's fine. We're going to wildcard out of it next game week anyway. And yeah, hope for some points this game week. A lot of my players have some very, very good fixtures this week. And on paper, I think it really does very well. Of course, football's not on paper, played on paper, so you never really know what's going to happen. But let's throw a captaincy armband on Horland. I think it's about time I captained. Oh yeah, I've had him, and now we're going to captain him as well. I do think he's just a better captain option than Salah at the moment, to be fair. And I do think Man City will score against Spurs. I just think they're too good to not score against Spurs. They're too good to not score against anyone. They're just too good, Man City, right now. It's kind of unfair, right? We're going to put the vice-captain actually on Martinelli, who is a player I also think could do really well. In fact, I'd even consider captaining Martinelli, and I'd say between now and deadline, that's the only thing that could possibly change, is if I'm feeling really, really spicy, really risky, that just maybe I take a captaincy punt on Martinelli. It could happen, but, you know, if I'm being completely sensible, Horland is probably the captain to go for. If we're being sensible, right? Not that I'm always sensible. But there we go. That's what my team is going to look like, hopefully, for Game Week 7. Of course, nothing is final until the deadline passes, but right now, that looks pretty good, right? I think. Let me know what you think, guys, about my 1 week punt team for Game Week 7 before the wild card. Do you think I'm on to a winner here, or do you think I'm going to be taking some more L's? Do let me know in the comments. If you did enjoy this video, please do leave a like. Really does help out the channel so much. And a massive shout out to you guys who have been absolutely smashing the likes recently. You've really been helping out so much. I appreciate you guys so much. Do subscribe if you're new around here. I know about half of you guys watching this video are not subscribed. Come on, let's get subscribed. Let's get it, boys. Let's get it. And yeah, a big shout out to Fantasy Football Hub. If you want to get 30% off your Fantasy Football Hub subscription, you can do so. Click the link in the description. They've got some amazing FPL tools that you absolutely must use if you are serious about your FPL. And aside from that, guys, I will see you tomorrow where we're going to do a wildcard template for Game Week 7. It's not going to be my wildcard, but it's going to be a team that I would use. If I was to wildcard in Game Week 7, this is what I would wildcard to. I'm going to show you that tomorrow. And aside from that, we'll have our deadline stream on Saturday, so I hope to see a few of you guys there. But there we go, guys. Thank you so much for watching once again, and I will see you later, mates. Bye-bye.